Hey, everybody. Can't record. Hey, Facebook land. How's everybody doing today? This is Crypto Kris on Crypto Let's Talk. And we're going to talk today about some things that might not be quite as cryptic as normal, but that's okay. We're going to talk about them anyway because it's just what the day is calling for. So if you're just getting on with us, go ahead, get in, get your cup of coffee, get your favorite beverage. Let's talk a little bit. Let's get something done today. So, welcome everyone. Joe is not with us today, and he sends his regards. His significant other, God lover, wound up in the hospital and had to have her appendix out today. So it was very spur of the moment, and they didn't really know it was coming, but that's okay. They're in good hands. She is out of surgery and now in recovery, so I can report that she is in good hands and doing fine. So, yeah, that's where Joe is today. So everybody send Joe a bunch of love and light today, and especially Gloria, Crypto Glow. Make sure that she heals and recovers quickly with no complications, and gets back on her feet to doing all the things that she loves to do. So let's make sure we get that done too. So I want to talk to everybody today, and I want to talk about your day. Have you guys ever had one of those days where it just didn't go exactly the way you thought it would go? You know, most of you know last week Joe did one of the lives last week by himself because I was at the dealership and I was there all day, only to have to turn around the very next day and take the car back because they didn't fix the car. And I picked up the car again today, and lo and behold, it's still not fixed. So, uh, I would say it's been a week of it. But, here's what I want to say about that. We can sit and squander and cry and be miserable and ask, why me? And, really get into all of the things that a lot of people do, right? Get down and squalor in the mud. We don't want to do that, okay? What we do want to do is swallow. And don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect, okay? I have to admit, I did hit a wall of anger, and I wasn't just angry, I was livid. Like I had venom exuding from my teeth, right? I was I was really mad. I was shaking inside. I could feel every part of my body inside shaking. I was that angry. But I quickly recognized that I was angry and pulled myself out of that energy. And the reason that I wanted to pull myself out of that energy is because nothing good can happen. Nothing good can come from that energy, right? And so, because of that, I took some deep breaths. I made some coffee. I talked to a friend, kind of vented. I let it go. I just turned it loose. And, because I did that, funny thing, the supervisor over the service department of this dealership called me back, and he was very amicable. He was apologetic. He was intent on fixing the issue and having me as a satisfied customer. So, and I believe that it's because I turned loose of it, right? Like I didn't hold on to it. I have to admit, this time around, it did get to me a little bit. But yeah, you just have to, and our businesses are the same way, y'all. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to do something or gone to take care of a certain issue and thought, oh, this will be a breeze. I'll do X, Y, and Z, and I'll be done, and I'll be able to move on to the next thing. And lo and behold, everything that could go wrong does go wrong. Case in point, last night we had our bridging the gap call at KGX, and the big thing was that we record those, right? And so I downloaded it like I always do, and it didn't download correctly. When I did the first few minutes of the playback before I loaded it to YouTube, it was kind of all fuzzy and the screen was sideways and things were going like this and the voices weren't clear, and I was like, wow, geez, really? And we do those at 9 o'clock. So I had it in my mind that I was going to be able to take like 10 or 15 minutes. I'd just breeze right through it. It would be no problem. It's nothing I don't do every week. But no, it didn't work that way. So I had to reload and then had to load it up to YouTube and take a deep breath, while I was waiting on it and just remind myself of all the things that I'm grateful for and thankful for. And I am so very grateful and thankful for so many different things. Even this car issue, I'm grateful that there's someone on the other end that is willing to put in the time and the effort to figure out what the problems are and why we're having the issues that we're having, etc., things of that nature. So, when we run into these in our businesses, the best thing we could do is, if it takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes, clear your head, get away from it, let it go, and then move on to the next thing. Because if you can keep moving forward, you're gonna eventually gain ground. There's no way, it's impossible for you not to gain ground, right? And so that would be my advice on that particular issue. Now, we want to talk a little bit about crypto today, obviously. And so I'm going to jump over here because, honestly, I have not been home long enough to see what our crypto is doing today. So I'm opening now as we speak. So it looks like we've got some red and some green going on. It looks a little Christmassy at the moment. Coin market cap itself is well over the 2 billion mark, which is good. Price is holding on Bitcoin at 64.20, so that's good. It is down a little bit right now. It looks like it might have been up earlier in the day. And so we have some folks saying, okay, so now what? What are we going to do? Is this the new norm? Have we hit our solid line? Is this what we can expect? And I don't think so. I don't think we have it all. Mind you, I am not a financial advisor and I'm not giving financial advice. Disclaimer. So, with that being said, I don't really believe that. I believe that we've got a long way to go. I believe that there are some adjustments being made. I believe that a lot of big industry is coming across and embracing cryptocurrencies as well as Bitcoin. Cash.me, for instance, is really moving forward. They're taking great strides, right, in accepting all 50 states, and they had to do a lot of work for that. That didn't happen, just at the snap of a finger. No, that's been in the works for quite some time. They just kept their mouth shut about it and didn't announce it until it was ready to go. So sometime between 8/20 of this month and the end of the month, we should see all 50 states trading and capable of buying Bitcoin at Cash.me. Now, a lot of people have never heard of Cash.me, and they think it's a new program or that it's a new company. It is far from new. This company's been around somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 to 9 years. I can't remember exactly. But at the crux of it, it's over a 5-year company. So that kind of tells you something. Now, they have been working in 17 or 18 states, allowing people to buy Bitcoin prior to this announcement as a beta test, and it's tested out very well. Also, the states that they were in, the rules and regulations were a little more flexible and a little easier to maneuver to get those states approved. Of course, the rest of the states are being added, and they've had to work on that. And that took a lot of time behind the scenes to get that done. So I'm really excited about that. It's going to, is it part of Square? It is. It's called Square Cash. And the actual website is cash.me. And so we were talking about it last night on our company call, and we were talking about how great that's going to be for the new guy, right? Like the very new person that has heard about Bitcoin and wanted to get involved, and just, it was a lot of things. There was a lot of steps that had to be done in order for them to buy Bitcoin, right? And depending on what part of the world they're in, they may or may not be able to participate simply because their bank has them on a blacklist, or their government doesn't want to associate with cryptocurrencies and bitcoins. So this is going to make it a lot easier for everyone to own a Satoshi, or up to a whole Bitcoin and more. So that's a really, really great thing. Very, very happy about that. And then what else we want to talk about is the fact that you cannot predict these things, okay? You can watch charts and learn how to read them. You can watch candles and get pretty good at predicting, um, you know, crosshairs and swoops. You can also get pretty good at predicting the climbs, right? And so um, additionally, you will want to have that under your belt if you're going to do any type of crypto trading and or investing. So what is the difference between a crypto investor and a crypto trader? Well, it's real simple. A crypto investor, um, by far and large, usually they want to collect coins, and not just Bitcoin, but coins in general. They want to collect coins and want to kind of sit with them. Um, and then they want to be able to watch those coins and watch the appreciation, right? So they're usually considered long-term holders, and therefore they get that investor tag, if you will. A trader is someone who sees an opportunity in putting, excuse me, in putting some money in crypto. I'm going to get a good sip of this hot, fresh Colombian coffee. Hang on, guys. Okay, that's good. They are opportunistic in nature. They see an opportunity to take a small amount of cash, maybe, and put it into a coin or Bitcoin, and then wait for it to appreciate. At which point, maybe if they're a savvy trader, right, they would sell 50 to 75% of their investment and hold on to a minimum of 10 to 25% of their investment, because you never want to get rid of all your coins, right? You never know what they might do. They might be magic and be like the Jack and the Beanstalk bean and grow exponentially. So you always want to keep your hands on a few of them anyway. And and then those people are the people that really get into reading the charts and predicting the curves, the swings up and the swings down, when to buy, when not to buy, when to sell. And those are the people that we typically tag with the name trader. So that's the biggest two differences between investor and trader. And don't make any mistake, you can be both. Okay, you can be an investor and a trader. Maybe you are an investor in Bitcoin and you're a trader in Ethereum. I'm just using those two for an example. But um, it is one of those types of situations that most people want to be both, and most people try very hard to be both, and it either is successful or it's not. Um, Now, ICOs, we want to talk about ICOs for a minute, because ICOs was all the rage. Everywhere you turned, somebody was talking about ICOs. And basically, all that is an initial coin offering, okay? An ITO would be an initial token offering, and they're similar. And what happens is someone gets an idea, right? We'll say, I'll use this coffee mug for an example. Let's say we have the idea to create these coffee mugs, right? And we put our business plan together, we figure it all out, and we figure out that we're going to need $50,000 to make these coffee cups. So we want to actually self-fund, right? We want to actually have a business that pays for itself. So in that instance, someone might come across and decide that they're going to do an ICO. Now, what they have to do is write a white paper. Basically, a white paper is a business plan on paper that is public. Okay, so they can have a private business plan and they can have a white paper. A white paper is public. When you read white papers, there are things that you look for, things that make you warm and fuzzy, things that don't make you warm and fuzzy. Basically, what you're looking for is who's involved in the company. Okay, who's at the top, who's starting it, who's supporting it. Is there any big people involved for stability? Do they have any money? Do they have any grip money involved? Because some people will come to the table absolutely having zero invested, right? And that's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But in the white paper, it has to tell you that. And so in the white paper, you'll also look and see, it will kind of tell you that they want to raise X amount. And then once they do that, that's kind of like their first goal, and XYZ will happen after they meet that one. And then they have another goal, so they have another amount, and et cetera, et cetera. And it'll even tell you at what point they will hit an exchange, so how many coins they want to create before they hit an exchange. It just really gives you the lifeblood. A lot of people actually call it a roadmap. And that's pretty accurate, because if you can read it and figure out where the coin is, and you can figure out the most optimal time to get in for that coin, you could stand to create yourself a lucrative payday. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if anybody was watching Timmy, Timi, Timmy Coin recently, everyone saw that it skyrocketed in the first 4 hours, and then it just plummeted. And I mean, it tanked. And that's called a pump and dump. And what people did, which is unfortunate for that company and for that particular ICO, what they did was they bought in, and they were probably offered, and I don't know because I didn't buy Timmy Coin, but most ICOs, when you buy in before they hit an exchange, they see that as what they call blind faith. And so because of your blind faith, let's say you buy 1,000 coins, they might give you 150 extra coins. Okay, so and I just made those numbers up. Those aren't realistic, by the way, but it gives you an idea, right? And so what would happen is when people bought into that, and their premise is really good. Timmy Coin is actually one of those that I'm watching. I didn't buy any, but I'm watching it. And now that the ICO has hit the exchange, it's probably going to be a better time for me to make a judgment as to whether I want to get in or not get into that particular coin. But that's another story. But what they did was, when it hit the exchange, it hit at a certain price point, right? And then people started selling and buying, and there was a lot of activity. The next thing you know, it went up and it hit a certain price point. When it hit that certain price point, what happened was the people that had bought in early, they dumped their stock, they dumped their coins, right? They just sold them all, they liquidated them all, and it caused it to plummet. That's called a pump and dump. It's not good for the industry. A lot of people do it. A lot of people make money. If I were going to advise anyone, I would advise you not to do that. There's nothing wrong with when a coin comes out on the exchange after it levels out. So it's going to come out at a certain price, it's going to peak, and then it's going to come back down, and then it should level out and it should bounce a little bit. When it starts bouncing, set yourself an idea, right? If you paid, let's say you paid a 1/100th of a penny per coin, and maybe your price is 2 cents per coin, okay? Then you can set yourself a sell for 2 cents a coin. Now what's going to happen is that's going to go into your exchange, and it's sitting there, right? And it's just sitting there. It's waiting for someone to buy at 2 cents a coin. But you wouldn't want to liquidate everything. What you'd want to do is figure out exactly how much money you had invested, right? So you want to get your ROI back. So let's just say that you had $100, all right, and you want to get $100 back. And you got, I don't even know, we're making up numbers here, but we'll say 1,000,000 coins. So you're going to take from that 1,000,000 coins, however many coins you have to sell at 2 cents, okay, to get your $100 back, all right? And you set that sell limit. Now, that's called receiving ROI, and it's always best for you to work towards getting your ROI as quickly as possible with any type of an investment that's a coin or otherwise. So you always want to do that, right? So now what have you done? You have not pumped and dumped. Okay, you're still holding a vast majority of your coins, right? Because you didn't buy the coin if you didn't believe in it. So, you get where I'm going. So you've got a vast majority of your coins still. You've got your ROI back. Okay, now you can breathe, you can exhale. And when you exhale, what's going to happen is all the pressure is going to come right off your shoulders and off your back, and you're not going to feel like you have to hurry up and make money, hurry up and make money, right? So now is the time to figure out and see if there's another coin or another ICO that has come out in the past that is similar in white papers, similar in style, similar in the way that it launched, similar in possibly the management people, those types of things. Look for that and kind of see what that coin did so that you can get an idea of where this coin might go. Okay. Now, this is not foolproof by any means. But if you have an idea of where a coin has been and where it might go, it kind of gives you an idea of whether you're looking at, a 6-month investment for 90% of your coins, or you're looking at a year, or maybe you're looking at a month. Who knows, right? So it kind of allows you to not predict, but have an idea about what kind of paydays you might be getting in the future, right? And so what you do is you set yourself a goal and you start getting better and better and better at that goal. And you exchange crypto back for fiat currency, because let's face it, right now, more people take fiat currency than they take crypto. That is changing. Okay, every day there's things being added and more companies are coming on board, restaurants and things of that nature. People are beginning to open their eyes a little bit. But until it's 50-50, 50 fiat and 50 crypto, I would say that you constantly want to create yourself a small income, whatever small is to you, and that's relative to each person individually. But whatever small is to you, you want to create yourself a small income, just trading, okay? And then working with ICOs like we just talked about, and possibly investing. Now, someone asked me the other day, says, what do you think about this Bitcoin, and do you think I should sell it? And, at the time it was like $6,500 or $6,600. And I was like, do you need the money right now? And they were like, no, not really. It's just a little bit nervous. And I said, well, investing is not for weak-stomached people. And I've said that from the beginning. All right. Now, that's not to say that I had the strongest stomach in the beginning. That is an acquired thing. I will definitely say that. You get better at it with time. I will say the first time that Bitcoin took a dive after I saw a really nice climb, I was on the phone with some folks that I know, and I was a little nervous, and I was going, okay, now what? What happened? What happened? So it is something that's acquired. It's not something that most people have or are born with. That being said, this particular person that I was talking to bought their coins at, like, I don't remember what they said. I think 21 or 24 or something like that. So they were still very much in profit. Okay. They believe, and this is what it all boiled down to. I didn't advise them either way. What I did was I helped them remember what their belief was. So I said to them, why did you buy it in the beginning? And they said, well, because I believe in decentralization and because I believe in a new money coming. And I said, okay. And I said, so what was your goal when you bought it? And they said, well, my goal when I bought it was, they wanted to 10 times their money. Okay, well, if they wanted 10 times their money, and that was their goal, then the next question out of my mouth was, did you use money that you could not afford to lose? Is this taking away from your family? Is this keeping food off your table, or your car from being repaired, or your house payments not to be made? And all the answers were no. And so then immediately that person came back to me and said, you know what, I just need to hold this thing because it's really going to probably be a lot bigger than what it is right now. And I was like, okay, you just answered your own questions. Okay. And so sometimes you do have to talk it out, and it helps to have someone to bounce it off of sometimes. Even though we are not advisors, Those of us who've been in a little longer than maybe the person who just got in, just listening to that person is a big help. I know that for me, when I first got in, having people to talk to about what was going on and trying to understand the marketplace and all of that stuff was very, very helpful in me making my decisions. So that's kind of, I wanted to kind of cover Bitcoin and investing and ICOs and day traders because I know that those questions have been on everybody's minds recently. It is kind of one of those things that because Joe's not here, I could just go and go and go and go and go. So I think that I've covered all of that pretty well. And I think that you now have a better outlook as to what you can call yourself or what your goals might be, right? So additionally, we want to talk about KGX for a couple minutes before we get off of here. And we learned last night that the credit cards are just this close to being online. It is my understanding that they had a misspelling of a word that was holding up progress, and it was it took a little while for them to find it. Actually, I think they said a week to be exact. And now that they've got it figured out, they are moving forward very quickly. So that's a wonderful thing. So be looking for that very soon. Also, the green X should be appearing in people's back offices very soon. There is a piece of there's a piece of coding that we are missing that Green United is working on getting us. And as soon as they get that, then our programmers will be able to plug that in, and then it's a matter of testing and beta testing to make sure that it's working properly and flipping a switch so that you see it in your back office. So that's coming. Additionally, the call from last night, I finally did successfully get it up and loaded to YouTube and then placed on the blog. So it is on the blog. All you have to do is go in your back office, hit blog, and it's the very first one unless someone else has added something there since I was there. And you'll be able to get that and listen to it. There was a lot of good information shared last night. On top of all of that, I would say that it's going to be a great week. We can end this week out just fine. We can work together. We can get through just about anything as long as we communicate with each other. So communication is key. The last thing that I want to talk about KGX is the very first order for t-shirts is about to be history. So if you want those t-shirts, you still have a couple days. The cutoff is 8/18/18 at midnight Eastern Standard Time. So that's a good thing. And I want to make sure that everybody gets their shirts. We've had a really good response from that. As you guys and gals know, the ladies have pink and purple. The guys have the heather gray. And I believe that everybody's going to be very satisfied with that. Joe has been in development process with some more products to come out soon after. I think everybody's going to be real happy with that. As soon as we get the stamp of approval from the Core 5, we'll be sharing those as well. Know that we will only be doing bulk orders as it is helping with the price. And so that is key. That is really key. And I know that everybody sees these ads on Facebook and stuff where you can get a shirt for $9 or you can get an embroidered shirt for $9.95 or something. Let me tell y'all, we looked into every one of those things, and they're all full of bull crap, and I'm being nice. You got to order an astronomical amount to get that price. It's not, one shirt or 20 shirts. It's quite a lot of shirts, okay? And we're talking more than 100. I don't think that anyone here is willing to pay for the extra shirts just so we can get that pricing. So we did what any business person would do, and we started searching around for suppliers. And Joe did a really good job with that. I want everybody to know that he's the driving force behind that. We do collaborate and we do co-create. But as far as getting in his vehicle and going and talking to these people and making the arrangements and getting the best deal, that is all him. He did it. Now, we did talk about it before he went and did it, but he did it. So bravo to Joe. He did a great job. really excited. I'm very proud of the products that he's put together so far and that he's brought to everybody. So, yeah, it's Thursday, and my day hasn't gone exactly the way I wanted it to. I did, however, see everybody. I did get a haircut. I did get the beard trimmed, and I did shave. So I finally, after 3 days, got to that, right? So business has been so good for 3 days, I couldn't get to it. That's how you look at it, right? Look for the positive in everything. Remember, make your family your first business. If it's not going to be good for your business, don't do it. We love you guys. We thank you guys for coming out. We thank everybody for grabbing replays. We couldn't do this without you guys. There would be no need to do it. So thank you. We appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Same place, same time. I don't know if Joe will be here or not, but I make a promise I will be. See you guys later. Have a great day.